Hey everybody, Dr. John Michael Salvato. Welcome to another installment of the Inner Alchemy program, a daily broadcast that in which we try our very best to bring you insight and inspiration, maybe just some ideas on different ways to look at the world around you so that you can live your best life. And today I wanted to come to you a little bit earlier than normal because I'm going to be taking a mental wellness day myself, getting away from, stepping away from the computer, stepping away from online interactions for a little bit, and get outside and relax, just enjoy some time by the pool, and really just kind of regroup. So I wanted to share something with you today as I thought about what it was that we would bring to the table of value today. I want to share something with you that came from the tremendous opportunity I had. I guess I shouldn't be holding the cup all day. Tremendous opportunity I had many years ago to work for 18 years with a personal development mentor and business coach by the name of Jim Rohn. And the late Mr. Jim Rohn was one of those people in my life who just changed the game for me, personally, emotionally, business-wise. So much of who I am today is because of what he taught me. And it was in one of those first sessions of a one-on-one meeting. I think we were having lunch, and it was a meeting between Jim Rohn and myself. I don't think at that particular meeting, Larry Thompson, my other mentor, was there. And I was about 18 years old, and I had just earned my first $4,000 commission check. It was my third month in the direct sales business, and I was over the top in terms of excitement for the kind of income I made. But at the same time, I also was really unsure about talking to a particular prospect that was coming up, somebody who was one of the industry's heavy hitters. They were making $10,000 or $12,000 a month. And remember, this is back in 1981. So that was a lot of money. And I just kind of felt like I was out of my league. And I'll never forget Jim looking at me across his cup of tea and smiling the way that he smiles in my heart to this very day. It's the way that I choose to remember him. And he said, "John Michael, your present circumstances don't determine how far you can go. They just determine where you're starting from." And I think that was probably one of those first drop mic moments of many in my working with him, my studying with him, but it really clicked for me. And that's what I want to share with you today. Your present circumstances don't determine how far you can go. They just determine where you're starting from. And that brought me to think about a quote, because today is a day that as I plan these out, I plan just really on sharing a quote that means something to me. And I start every day by doing some what we would call in Latin lectio divino. I spend some contemplative time reading, and so this morning I was reading from Khalil Gibran, and Khalil Gibran, who's a great mystic and poet, wrote, out of suffering have emerged the strongest souls. The most massive characters are seared with scars." And that was just a very emotional moment for me this morning, because I kind of read these things random. I open up a book, and where they fall is where I read. And Sunday night brought the news of another friend's suicide. And at this point, I'm starting to lose count. And because of family requests, I'm not going to speak their name aloud, as I prefer to do when someone has made that difficult decision, to remember them, to say their name. But my heart is screaming their name right now. Now, see, they committed suicide because they couldn't manage their PTSD, even when some of the most, I'm sure, incredible and dedicated psychiatrists and counselors, therapists were involved. The experience of living in a world where Black and brown people are readily labeled as race, as terrorists, as criminals, and everything else, regardless of their actions. Living in a world where having brown or Black skin results in people talking about banning you, sending you back, when this is the land that you were born in. But in the same breath, where racist white boys with semi-automatic weapons are called mentally ill, was just too much for her to take. The brown and Black people who may have just been going to work, they were called terrorists, they were called criminals, they were called gang members. While the racist white boys with semi-automatic weapons, fueled by an intolerance, a hatred, a xenophobia that starts in the former Oval Office, the Kremlin Annex West, was too much for her to take, especially being a trans woman, Latina, and very dark-skinned from Puerto Rico. And I couldn't help but think that, I wish that she would have stuck around until last night's headlines finally referred to what we're seeing as domestic terrorism. I wish that she could have borne that one last scar and found the samples that I sent her to be maybe a possible solution to help her with her depression. But there's nothing I can do about it. And so today I just want to say that it's not just in business that Mr. Rohn's adage becomes relevant for me. It's in life as a whole. Your present circumstances don't determine how far you can go. They just determine where you're starting from. And so I hope for you today that you make a decision to start from wherever you're at, to take that one step, to let one person know that they matter, to realize that you matter, if not to anyone else, to me, because you're watching this program. I hope that I realize I haven't been looking at the comments, and I just see Zach, that you're there, and I appreciate you and love all of you that are watching this. So know that you matter, and make the decision to start where you are and to begin living your best life. That happens when we start out by returning to the present moment. That's where the power is. That is the only place you're ever going to come into the fullness of your own personal power. The past no longer exists. And your idea of the past is just that. It's an idea of the past. It's your perception. And our perceptions have a tendency to be interpreted through the lens of our fears, through the lens of our baggage, chaotic data, we call it. And the future never exists. The future is just a projection that we have of something that might happen. But right here, right now, in the present moment, you can bring the breath to this moment where the power is. You can fill that moment with gratitude. Yes, things are tough. Yes, it's difficult to see and painful to see the things going on all around us. But in that present moment, by bringing gratitude there, you open the door for the abundance that's waiting for you. This isn't new age abundance. This isn't the magic of thinking big. This is the reality of creating your life going forward one moment at a time. And that's all we can really do. So stay in the moment, be grateful for what you have. And my wish for you is to know that you're loved, to know that you're not alone, and to know that the best is yet to come. I'll talk to you soon. Namaste.